Hey guys, it's Matt Goldsman from GamersCast, and here's everything that went down at Sony's E3 2011 press conference, along with my personal reactions. But if you want to skip a note and say, who did better, Sony or Microsoft? I'm going to tell you, Sony blew Microsoft out of the freaking water, right out of the gate. Now first off, I was really shocked because they started off by apologizing for the PSN outage, which was finally completely resolved a little earlier in the week. I was actually really surprised that they addressed the period, but then they went on and somehow linked it into how they started the show. Now, everyone in the audience was given 3D glasses to show that they were really driving 3D gaming, and this theme carries out throughout the show. But first off, they started off right out of the gate with Uncharted 3. Now, it's a really strong start, and I thought it was bold, and I was like, okay, they're starting on a high note, where can this possibly go from here? But about Uncharted 3, the game looks absolutely fantastic. It does not look capable. It does not look like it would be capable on an Xbox 360 or any other platform without making significant sacrifices. So the game actually looks incredibly impressive, and I may actually have to pick that game up. Not sure if I'll do an LP, but I may have to pick it up. The multiplayer beta for the game starts June 20th. Unfortunately, I'll be playing Ocarina of Time 3D on that day, so sorry about that. But they announced Uncharted for 11/1/11, so it's 5/11 instead of 6 like Minecraft and Skyrim and everybody else is doing, which is getting ridiculous. There's too much in like a span of 1 week, but enough about that. They went on to show Resistance 3, pretty damn polished game, not gonna lie. And they were going on and on about how amazing it is in 3D. Too bad I don't have a 3D TV. But then after that they went on and they revealed a PS3 Resistance 3 bundle, which will be available September 6th. Tons of stuff, a PS Move controller, PSI, the game, a PlayStation 3, tons of stuff, $150, and that bundle will be available September 6th. Then right after that, they said that the God of War PSP games would be remade in 3D for PS3 in a collection that will be available for PS3 later on. And I'm getting a little blinky notice on my camera that says I have 4 minutes left of filming. Oh dear God, hold on. You could tell that Sony was heavily pushing 3D, but of course the adoption rate for 3D isn't that much. Sony plans to change that, so they unveiled a 24-inch PS3 branded 3D television set. This 24-inch TV sports an absolutely phenomenal feature, which gets rid of the split in split-screen gaming. By moving players from different angles on the screen, if one player's over here, they'll see their full screen. If one player's over here, they'll see an entirely separate image for their screen, which gets rid of the split screen on the gameplay and gets rid of the disorienting feeling of only having half of a screen. So that's absolutely fantastic. Not to mention, along with this TV, they announced lower-priced glasses. The TV itself is bundled and comes with Resistance 3 for only $499, and each set of 3D glasses is $69. Then they went on, and then Kobe Bryant came out and was like, NBA 2K12, it's realistic. Yeah, move support. And that was basically all for NBA 2K12. Then I started getting a bit concerned that that PS3 people, or at least Sony, would go a bit move crazy, kind of like Microsoft went Kinect crazy. And then they kept going on, and they were showing more move-compatible games, so I was getting concerned. The next move-compatible game they showed was Medieval Moves. Looks pretty nifty, nice puzzle-solving mechanics to it. Can't wait to see more from that game. Then they showed the Infamous 2 launch trailer, because that game comes out tomorrow. So, rightfully so, they showed the launch trailer today. Looks fantastic, a game. Probably not going to pick it up though myself, but oh well. Then they announced that the PlayStation Move support patch to Little Big Planet 2 will be released later this year. And with the patch will become new move-specific obstacles that you can use. Then after that, they brought back the old PS2 franchise. Sly 4, Sly Cooper, is coming back on PlayStation 3. That was fantastic, and I cannot wait for that game at all. Then after that, another new PS3 exclusive shooter called Dust 514 was announced. It also has PlayStation Move support and connects with the EVE MMO on PC. Not really sure how, but it does. So just roll with it. BioShock Infinite, when they came out to do their little thing, he started going on about, oh, I hate motion, and then he's got how he got changed religiously into a PlayStation Move person. But then he went on to address the issue, saying he's not a this kind of person. He's a this kind of person. And then he was going on and saying how now he's integrating PlayStation Move into BioShock Infinite, but how also, at the same time, he doesn't want to get rid of these. So then Sony went on to say how the majority of the PlayStation Move games have the option for Move, but aren't absolutely required for Move, which is what's the huge separating difference between Microsoft and Sony's E3 conferences. Because while Microsoft forces you to buy a $150 peripheral, that's the price of a Wii right now. Sony, it's an option. You can go there if you want to. And that's the huge difference for me between the two companies right now. And that's what sets Sony over the edge, that you don't need to buy any more expensive software. Anyway, then they were saying, then the BioShock guy went on to explain how they're also making the game for the NGP, the Next Generation Portable. More on that later. Then they quickly went over and said Saints Row would have an exclusive PS3 game mode. The game launches on November 15th. Then they went on and they announced a Star Trek PS Move enabled game, which will be based on the upcoming movie by J.J. Abrams next year. It will come with PS3 exclusive prequel to the game, and will also come with a Star Trek phaser accessory for the Move. And a lot of people in the crowd seem to like that. So yeah, sure. Battlefield 3 will come bundled with Battlefield 1943 exclusively on PlayStation 3. The game itself isn't exclusive, but the bundle is. So if you don't have 1943 and you want to get both, there you go. Which is kind of weird because Battlefield 3 is being bragged being super realistic, and then Battlefield 1943 was being criticized for being cartoony. Oh well. I'm not going to even touch on that. Also, the Shadow of the Colossus and Ico remakes that are coming out, HD remakes that are coming out for PlayStation 3 later this year, will be 3D remakes. So that's cool. We'll probably hear more on those games from TGS because that's a very Japanese-centric developer right there. So yeah, more on that from TGS. I can almost guarantee that. Then Sony went on to announce the PlayStation Suite, which will extend PlayStation content out to non-PlayStation devices, such as selected Android smartphones. They didn't really go into much more detail than that, except saying how they're expanding the PlayStation family. Yay! But yeah. Then he went on, and then he made the big announcement. He's like, this is what you called the NGP? This is what it really is. It's the PlayStation Vita. And Vita is Latin for life. Yay! So it's PlayStation Life, which is also that stupid app on the PlayStation 3 that I don't get. But yeah, PlayStation Life. So yeah, the rumors are true, and people successfully guessed the name. The PlayStation Life will sport 2 analog sticks, a 5-inch OLED screen, dual touchpad, 6-axis motion controls, a front and a rear camera, and will come with a Wi-Fi and 3G enabled models. Unfortunately for 3G, Vita's an AT&T exclusive, to which case the crowd was like, it's like iPhone all over again! Yeah. The crowd was really pissed. I know I am. Then they also announced something for it, which is called Near, which will be, well, it's not called Near, it's called Nair. It's spelt Near, but it's pronounced Nair. Whatever. It's basically like a little mini social network where you can manage all your friends and stuff in your PS Vita. But then they were like, what's going to be on PS Vita? The first game they brought out and showed was a new Uncharted game called Uncharted Golden Abyss. And it will be on PlayStation Vita. The game looked absolutely phenomenal, almost as good as the PS2 counterpart. Not quite as good, but almost as good. They didn't really have an on-screen capture, so all they had to go off of was some guy with a giant camera behind someone shooting off-screen footage of the Vita. So it's kind of hard to judge from that respect, but from the off-screen footage, even from there, it looked relatively damn good. So yeah, absolutely amazing for the handheld. And the game sports a feature where you can dynamically change control schemes as you're playing. You can move from touch to 6-axis to buttons at any time, and you can just dynamically change this. And I liked how it was really smoothly and really seamlessly integrated into the game. Another game called Rune was announced for it, which, along with other PS Vita games, will support cloud game saves. So you can take your game saves, go to the cloud, go right to your PS3, and then start playing on your PS3. So if you have a PS Vita game that supports cloud, you can go right to your PS3 and play exactly where you went off, almost as if it were a save state. So that was pretty cool. And then after that, they announced Mod Nation Racers was coming to PS Vita. And they actually utilized a lot of things. The rear touch panels aren't useless after all. Who would have thunk it? And then all the tracks from all the previous Mod Nation Racer games will be playable right from launch on the Mod Nation Racers for PS Vita. And then after that, speaking of games that are backward compatible with their old stages, Little Big Planet was announced for PS Vita. And that game looks phenomenal and supports every single technology that's available in there. They use the back touch panel to use puzzles in the back. It's absolutely nuts. And of course, it uses all the tools from Little Big Planet 2 and will support all previous stages. Then they came out with Street Fighter Cross Tekken for PS Vita. That was pretty awesome. The crowd was like, and Cole from Infamous is going to be in it too, for whatever reason. So, Street Fighter Cross Tekken Cross Infamous! So yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. And then they went on to say that 80 PS Vita games are currently in development. And they said, virtually every publisher ever is developing for it. Or signed up for it, as they said. Now, what's really cool is the PlayStation Vita will release this holiday season. And what's absolutely shocking is the Wi-Fi only model, which was previously thought to be priced somewhere near $1,000. That's what I heard from speculation. It's the same price as the 3DS, $250. And what's good for you European people, because I know your Euro's all strong and mighty, it's the same price in Euros. So, yeah. It's $250, 250 euros, and 24,000 yen. A little more than that, but I don't remember the exact amount. And the 3G model, AT&T exclusive people, is going to be $50 more. And also 300 euros as well. Then they ended the show saying the best is yet to come. Overall, fantastic conference by Sony. Blew Microsoft out of the water by not having ridiculously kiddie games. They went out, they put on a show, and they started a bit late, but then they ran over the allotted time that they said they were going to take up as it was, and they came out with some sweet stuff. Overall, I'm pretty well impressed by the performance Sony put on, and Microsoft looks like it's going to have the short end of the stick, as Nintendo is expected to have one of its best conferences of all time tomorrow. But speaking of Nintendo, they still haven't released that fucking system update that they said they were going to release today, and there's only an hour left in the day. So fuck you, Nintendo. I'm not going to be quite as happy if it's not out within the next hour, because you lied to me, and then you're going to have a E3 press conference tomorrow, and what do you think I'm going to say about you? So yeah, I have no recording time left, and I have no battery life left. So, that was Sony's press conference. Fantastic. And yeah, overall I'd say Sony's winning this E3. But that's just my opinion. Leave your own comments below and let me know what you think. I'm Matt Goldson from GamersCast, and I'll catch you fuckers later. That was a mean ending. I love you guys. I will catch you buddies, friends, later. Have a nice day.